Let's break the beliefs of what spiritual awakening and personal development is in the 21st century right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful, beautiful world. I want to break the beliefs of spiritual awareness, spiritual and personal development. As I see many people want to develop, but they are either ashamed or afraid of their relatives, friends, of not making fun of them, not to stop them, not to think that they went crazy, or that belief that everything, the moment when you say spiritual, everything is like total woo. We live in times right now where we go to work and in the morning, bam, pandemic starts, we need to go back home and lock ourselves in our homes. We wake up in the morning and bam, there is a war in East Europe or somewhere else around the world, and houses are fire burning, and it's so difficult time right now. It's an absolute challenge to have part of you trying to live some sort of a normal life, and the other part of you is yearning to grow spiritually and as a person, and at the same time you're dealing with so many things that you're not under control of, and they are changing your life, and you're literally in the middle of all this. So hence, I want to explain everything related to spirituality in a very simple way. First, none of us is a monk who has the time to meditate all day long, talk to God, and feel happy every single moment the way how social media right now is telling us. We all live literally in a matrix. Secondly, what exactly means to be a spiritual? Like, all of us are spiritual. We have mind, we have body, and we have a spirit. Some people choose to develop a little bit more spiritually, which means they choose a self-knowledge. That is that easy. Spiritual development has nothing to do with the philosophical talks like life is beautiful, life is too short, let's leave it, life is whatever. Spiritually develop means having the courage to go through two stages of development and awareness. The first stage is the onion. There's one vegetable with many layers, which if you injure them, if you cut the scales, they're going to make you cry straight away. The second stage is communicating, and communication with all the invisible, with all the consciousnesses around us that create also a culture of communication with all the consciousnesses around us. And I'm going to talk about this later on. Let's start first with the first stage, which is the onion, with all the scales of the onion. At first, it's very interesting to peel off one scale, and you're still on that stage of the golden brown or red scale, depending on the color of the onion, which is the outside scale. Then you start to deepen your spiritual self-knowledge, and you start to rage, roar, the smell gets you, you don't feel yourself anymore. Most people are in that stage right now. The feeling that literally, it's a feeling that you're in a maze. If you right now, your life is neither forward or backwards. Like being in a maze, when you go back, you hit a dead end. When you go forward, you take a turn in the maze, and boom, you hit another dead end. Using different techniques here, you can learn to follow your intuition. And when you start learning that inner voice, it kind of feels like you vaguely see which way to take. It's the way how you start peeling off a new layer of the onion. You start applying new things you learn. Things start to unravel very slowly. The maze doesn't have that many turns anymore to wander around, and you keep crying from the freaking bloody onion, which is your life and everything that life throws at you, but you know that you are slowly peeling off all the scales. At this stage, there is a new struggle that begins. It tries now, you're fighting between the spiritual, which is the unknown, and the well-known, which is all your experiences till now. That if you're in that phase of the onion with all the things that already worked so far, they stopped working. It's like someone closed all the doors around you and things don't work anymore. Suddenly, it's like a magic wand made disappearing all the doors and all the possibilities around you, and you're in the middle, standing there in that maze. So this is the phase where you can't make the already peeled layers, the peeled scales of the onion stand up, like go up and become alive and cover you and go back to the old life, to the old yourself. The entire old life is now locked away from you. Now a new struggle begins. It's the phase where you start denying, finding something to distract you, of slowing down, of a lot of doubts, of remorse, of refusing to move forward, refusing to go back, and it's like constantly going back and forward. It is in that struggle, though, then that everyone finds their teachers. That's why right now there's so many people around the world that are finding life coaches. They're doing family constellations. They're using human design teachers. Sometimes these teachers themselves come to you through videos like this one. Sometimes you find them, if you recognize yourself, this is your face, and you're currently looking to have literally already found someone to give you and explain various techniques that can literally help you go through all the different onion phases, because it's clear that there's no going back. Like that life is past and you can't go back. And the only way is to move forward. Those scales of the onions that you already removed from your life, they died. It's very clear for you that these scales are no longer yours. There are some of the techniques I use in the 14-day Wise Up course. Is one of my favorites is the dragon button technique. I'm gonna explain that technique in a second. But there are other techniques like the bathtub technique, the balance technique, the technique I'm aware of, the boat technique, the technique of letting go of your ego, the technique of problem, challenge, and opportunity. Another technique is to switch between the 4 emotional stages: to me, by me, through me, and as me. The moment you start applying different techniques, you start to feel more and more confident. First of all, because you know that the technique works. And secondly, you get that confidence in yourself that you are in the right path. If this is how you feel right now, then you are on that phase of the onion and peeling the onion scales. And the last phase of the onion, you suddenly surrender with no fear, no expectations. You find yourself in the middle of your onion, in the core, which is your soul exposed. You truly stand in front of yourself, realizing your powers, realizing your wisdom, and you no longer have any fears to look at the core of the onion. You already stop fighting, you stop rushing to peel another scale of your onion. Everything begins to happen very easily. It's like a flow of a river. You begin to receive help without even asking for it. That gives you a lot of new strength to move forward. Things start happening magically. Just thinking about someone or something, it already come to you. So when you continue to peel off new onion scale, you're not in a hurry anymore. Every single door begins to open before you. And you even forgotten about all these onion layers that you peeled off and they fell off in the battle with yourself, because in front of you is a horizon of endless opportunities. And just with a thought, you choose which of those opportunities you want to unlock. And you can unlock as many as you want, of course. If this is you right now, know that here begins a new stage in your life, which is stage 2. And that stage 2 is when you start communicating with the unseen, with the consciousnesses around us, and they double and triple your powers, because this wonderful guardians of yours, angels, archangels, consciousnesses, spirits, it doesn't matter how we all human call them. They are here to help us double our power. This is the phase where it's like a spiritual bliss. Without the need to be a monk, you are in a spiritual bliss. In the past 3 years, on a worldwide level, we've got something happening that never ever happened in the human life before. We've got help from energies and consciousnesses around us just like that. Literally, it's so powerful. It's super easy to call a specific consciousness, specific spirit. It's super easy to get their wisdom and their help right now. Let me go back to the technique, because I promise to give it the dragon's battle technique. So here's the technique. I want you to do it with open eyes or closed eyes. It doesn't matter really. Imagine you're dreaming, and in your dream, you're fighting 2 dragons. Things are getting rough. You begin to lose the battle. Your strengths leave your body more and more. You suddenly, just before you die, the dream freeze. You're faced with 2 choices. You can call me in your sleep as your teacher to start fighting alongside you, infuse you with strength, and defeat the 2 dragons. Or you can ask me to wake you up and remind you that this is just a dream. There are no dragons. This is just a dream. So here's my question for you, and I want you to write the answer below in the comments. For those of you who sign up for the Wise Up course, be sure to send me the answers before the first day, because we're going to use the answer on day 1 of the 14 days Wise Up course. So here's my question. Which choice do you make? To call me in your sleep and have me by your sides in the battle against the dragons? Or should I wake you up, explain that this is just a dream and you're not fighting dragons? They're not dragons. I created the Wise Up course to help those of you who are in the middle of the peeling onions process, or have only peeled few scales, and you're very clear that you do need help, someone to give you the techniques, explain the techniques and how to use them, to grab your hand and lead you hand in hand through the whole scaling, peeling process, and to get you to the core of your onion, your life, to see your inner self, inner wisdom, inner power, and what is there. This is not a training course. The Wise Up course is a course where my role is to ask you 1 question a day and give you 1 very easy to do assignment. And you guessed it right. The goal is not the question in the assignment itself, but the goal is through questions to lead you to your awareness, which in turn leads you to peel off another scale of the onion. The layers are not that many. They're just few. But when you have the technique and you know how to peel those layers, there is no resistance, there is no back and forward fights there. Because the moment when you start cutting the onion, definitely the first thing is gonna start is to cry. We start on Wednesday, 9th of August, when you're gonna have the first question and very easy to do first assignment. Again, my role is not to tell you what to do, but it's based on the answers of what you give me to the question of the day. I'm going to ask you more questions to really help you to peel off the onion and be in ease, to be so easy for you to find your new self. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I see a lot of people finding me right now because the way how YouTube works and suggested my video to you. Press the follow button, which is below, and then press the bell button to get notified when I post a new video. Please share that video with your friends. Tell them what blew your mind in that video and why you're sharing that video. This channel of mine is very new, and I would love to hit 5,000 subscribers, because this is when YouTube unlocks a lot of goodies and features for me, so I can serve you better by using those features. Thank you in advance for helping me reaching more people. I love you. I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of energy wherever you are around this beautiful world. I'm going to see you on the Wise Up course on 9th of August.